for those of you that may have missed it, today's live boot camp exercises will be incorporating these resistance bands. Now, these ones are mini resistance bands. I know there are different types of resistance bands or bigger, longer ones. The ones I'll be using today are the mini ones, kind of like I used in the recorded workout from last Move Monday. Now, as I said, for those of you that may have missed it, if you don't have any resistance bands, that's okay. You'll still be able to do these exercises today without them, and I'll explain, that the resistance bands are just providing, obviously, additional resistance to the body weight exercise we'll be doing. So it's kind of a way of just making the exercise more challenging. Now, it doesn't mean you can't still get a workout in without using these. It's just a way of promoting additional resistance, making it a little bit harder to do the exercise, helping to build strength there. So I'm gonna get up from my seat here and I'm gonna be moving back to the mat. However, I'll be using this chair a little bit and I'll explain what that's gonna look like for our first couple exercises. Now, if you have resistance bands with you, as you'll a couple different colors here, generally with resistance bands, they are kind of coded based on their level of resistance. The yellow one here, the green one here that I'll be using is a little bit lighter, yellow's a little bit harder. The resistance goes up and up. I know I have a couple red and blue ones here. You might have similar resistance bands. The colors might be a little bit different, but I'm gonna start off with somewhat of a lighter resistance today. So I'm gonna be starting off with the screen resistance band. Now, something I would recommend when we're doing these exercises, especially when I'm putting the resistance bands around my legs, I highly recommend doing this from a seated position. It's a lot safer. I have seen people fall trying to put these on from a standing position. So I highly recommend doing it from a seated position. It's just a little bit safer, a little bit easier for the exercises that we'll be doing on our lower body. So our first exercise here, I am gonna put this around my legs. So I'm gonna explain what we want for this first exercise. We're gonna put this resistance band around our legs, and I'm gonna put it about an inch or two below my knees here. So about just below my knee level. Now, the key with the resistance bands, we want to keep constant tension on the band. So again, for those of you that don't have any resistance bands, that is okay. We're still gonna go through these exercises with or without them. If you do have them, putting that resistance band right about an inch or two below the knees for this first couple exercises. Now, I do recommend, if you're struggling to keep tension on the band, if you have a lighter resistance band going down, if you feel like it's super easy, bump it up to that next level of resistance for the next tougher resistance band. So for this first exercise, we're gonna start in a standing position. Now again, keeping tension on the band is always an important thing here, but we're gonna start again with this about an inch or two below the knees here. I'm gonna use, if you have a chair or a table, if you need to, great. If not, you can kind of put your hand on a wall for balance. We're gonna do a kickback here, so a standing kickback. This is gonna be working on our glute muscles, our hamstrings, even our lower back muscles. So we're gonna start with one side here. So again, from standing position, you have your hands on a chair, table, something to help with your balance. Standing up as straight as possible. If you start to lean forward as your leg kicks back, you might be, you're not getting the full effect of what it should be doing. So you want to keep yourself upright here. And I'm going to start to balance on one foot, which is why I have my hands on the chair here. I'm going to kick my leg straight back. And as I kick my leg back, I'm getting that additional resistance from the resistance band and feeling that especially in my glutes and hamstrings and lower back. If you don't have a resistance band, just go through the same exercise, not using, obviously, a resistance band, just going through the same range of motion. So we're going to kick our heels straight back, keeping your legs straight, and then right back to where we started. We're gonna do 6 reps on each side, and we'll go to the next exercise, and we'll come back to this one after that. So here we go. Go ahead and start off nice and straight, kicking the leg, kicking the heel straight back. 1, 2, if you feel any pain or tightness, just reduce the range of motion, not kicking back quite as far. Here we go. 3, 4, last 2 on this side. 5, and 6. Go and switch now. I'm gonna place my weight on the other foot, and I'm gonna be kicking back with my other leg. Remember, keeping up nice and straight here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more on this side. 5, and 6. So hopefully you felt that in your butt muscles, your lower back a little bit, and your hamstrings. Big reason why we're working on these muscles initially, or a big reason, is because these are muscles that get a lot weaker when we sit in or when we're in a seated position for an extended period of time. So really good to start off by strengthening and stretching out these muscles here. Now we're gonna stay in our standing position, and now we're gonna get our muscles on the side of our leg and our hip here, our gluteus medius muscle, as well as some of our muscles on the side of our leg down to our knee. We're gonna now bring our legs straight out to the side. Same thing from a standing position. If you wanna hold on, kind of placing your hand on the wall, if you don't have a chair, or if you have a chair or table, just holding your hands there for balance. But make sure, as I kick my leg out to the side, if you start to lean over the side to assist your leg coming up, you don't want that. You want to keep your body upright and straight here. And we're going to kick it right out to the side. Same thing, we're going to do 6 reps on each side. And again, if you don't have a resistance band, it's totally fine. Just go through the same range of motion without the resistance band. Here we go, 6 reps on each side. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully feel that mostly right up your hips. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, same thing now. I'm going to plant that foot. We're going over to the other side. Same thing here, 6 reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I know I'm definitely feeling it in my hips and my butt muscles, especially. Hopefully you are too. We're going to go back one more time. We're going to do our kickbacks. Same thing, 6 reps on each side. We're just gonna go right into it. Make sure you got your balance there good, hold on to something. 1, remember, keeping that body upright and the legs straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, one more time on the other side, planting my foot down now. Again, holding on for balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we're done with the kickbacks. We're going to do one more time going into that lateral raise, so the side raise here. So we're working on those muscles on our side, our gluteus medius muscle especially. We're going to have our gluteus medius and meniscus muscle. So still part of our butt / hip muscles here, but also our legs. So we're going to go down one more time into our lateral raises here. So remember, holding on if you need to for balance on a wall or chair. 6 reps. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, one more on the other side. Same thing now, just other side. 1, 2, remember keeping yourself upright. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so we started off mostly working around those muscles in our hips, butt, and hamstrings a little bit. So now we're gonna make our way down to the floor. This one is still working our glutes, but more so adding a little bit even more of a challenge to it. Now again, if you don't have any resistance bands, that's totally fine, but we're gonna keep the resistance band here in about the same position. Again, maybe a few inches below the knee here. Let me straighten mine out. So we're gonna get down into a plank position for this one. So as we get down into our plank position, I'm gonna bring my elbows and forearms down to the floor. I'm gonna straighten my body out here. Now, what you wanna do as you get in your plank position, remember, you wanna keep tension on that band. So make sure those feet are at least shoulder width apart. If you need to bring your knees down to the floor, that's totally fine. But if you're able to hold on to that plank position, I'm gonna kick one heel up toward the ceiling and bring it back down. If you need to keep your knees down, that's totally fine. Same thing, you'll kick one knee up, bring it back down, and then another leg up. We're gonna do 6 of these reps total. So we'll be 3 on each side. We're gonna alternate 6 reps total. So I'm gonna get in my low plank position here. Good core exercise, good glute exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so I felt that not only in your glutes, but also your abdominal muscles working hard to hold that plank position. We're gonna come back to that exercise, but we're gonna flip over here onto our back now. If you need to adjust that resistance band, sometimes they'll kind of move around a little bit, but we're gonna go back to that same position. Again, resistance band, a couple inches below the knees. So just like I said before, make sure there's tension on that band. If there's any slack, try to bring those knees out just a little bit. I'm gonna keep my feet flat on the floor, knees up here. We're gonna go into a hip bridge. So as I push my hips up, you're gonna keep your glutes, your butt muscles nice and tight, and you're gonna push your hips up toward the ceiling. We're gonna go through 8 reps total of this one. Lay back flat on the ground, hands out to your side for stability here. But remember, keeping tension on that band is going to create a little bit extra challenge to those hip and glute muscles. So pushing those hips up, 8 reps total, here we go. And again, if you don't have a resistance band, same thing, just going through the hip bridges without the resistance band. Here we go. 1, 2, don't let those knees come back together, keep them out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, and push those hips up, 8. All right, so we'll come back to that one more time, but we do have those plank heel raises. That heel raise meaning we're bringing those heels up toward the ceiling from our plank position, that low plank position. Again, if you need to keep your knees down, that's totally fine, but remember, keeping tension on the band. Total one more time, here we go. 1, alternating to the other side, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 5, one more on the other side, 6, nice job. I know it's tough, that's a tougher one because you're holding the plank while kicking your legs up, which adds even more of a challenge on top of the resistance band itself. One more time, we're gonna go through these hip bridges, 8 reps total. Remember, tension on the band. I know I keep saying that, but that's super important to not forget. Don't let those knees come back too close to each other. Otherwise, you're not getting the effect of the resistance bands, what the intention is of those. So keeping my resistance band nice and tight. Keep my legs apart there. We're going through 8 reps, pushing our hips up toward the ceiling. Here we go. 1, nice and slow. 2, 3, remember to breathe through these exercises. 4, halfway there. 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so we've been working our lower body a lot. We're gonna give our lower body a little bit of a break here, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do next. So if you're still in a seated position and you have a resistance band, go ahead and take the resistance band off of your legs there, and we're gonna go into a couple upper body exercises. Now, our legs are, especially our glutes and hamstrings, a little bit of our lower back, those have been working more than anything. So we're gonna go back into a standing position here, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do for this next exercise. So for this exercise, if you don't have a resistance band, I highly recommend if you have a water bottle around, or something with a closed lid, something that has a little bit of weight, a wine bottle, some sort of a bottle that has a little bit of weight to it. We're gonna go through what's called a single arm row. If you have a resistance band, I'm gonna show you how this is gonna get set up. So I'm gonna put one foot through that resistance band. I'm gonna set that foot down on the floor. So while my foot's in that resistance band here, so it's on my left foot, I'm gonna grab the resistance band with my right hand. So I'm hinging forward at my hips here. I'm gonna hold this position, my other leg back on the floor, front foot forward there. So my left foot's forward with the band, right arm, right hand holding that resistance band. If you have a bottle of water or wine or something that you have at your disposal there, you're gonna get into the same position holding that bottle in your hand, and we're gonna go through a row here. So you're gonna hold that there, and I'm gonna bring my elbow straight back, almost like I'm tucking my elbow to my ribs on the way back here. We're getting those upper back and shoulder muscles. So we're gonna go through 8 reps on one side, then 8 reps on the other. So hinging forward at the hips, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, few more here. 6, hold that position, 7, and 8. So you want to feel like, as you're rowing up, like the elbows tucking into your ribs on the way up, and you're bringing your shoulder blades together in the back. Now, the upper back muscles and shoulder muscles, those are some of the muscles that tend to be the most, not necessarily avoided intentionally, but the ones that are muscles that tend to get weak or the weakest from sitting for long periods of time, because we're sitting at a desk, we're sitting at a computer, usually hunched over a little bit. Our back muscles, our shoulder muscles, they start to get stretched out and weaker from holding that position for too long. What we're doing is we're strengthening those muscles again, bringing that shoulder back, bringing those elbows back to the side as we go through the row. So we hit the one side, we're gonna switch over to the other side now. So same thing, other foot now, resistance band under the other foot, right around the midline of your foot. My right foot's now forward, my back, and I'm holding the resistance band in my left hand, but the resistance band's under my right foot. So same thing, hinging forward at the hips. Here we go. 1, 2, keep that chest and back nice and straight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. We're going to come back to that one again, but we do have another upper body exercise while we're in this standing position. So now we're going to take our resistance band, and again, if you don't have a resistance band, totally fine. This one I would recommend, if you don't have a resistance band, if you have a backpack, if you have even an additional laptop, an iPad, a couple bottles of water, a couple bottles of wine, we're going to do an overhead press. But if you do have the resistance band, how you're going to set up with this one here, I'm going to have the resistance band just through the midline of my palms, making sure that it's tucked in between my thumb and my index finger there. I'm going to have my elbows tight to my side, kind of a 90-degree angle right at my side here at my elbow. And I'm going to have my hands, make sure I keep tension on that band, at least shoulder width apart. So what I'm going to do from the standing position here, I'm going to bring my hands kind of in like I'm almost doing like a touchdown, like a goalpost with my hands here. And I'm going to push my arms, extend my arms all the way above my head while keeping that tension on the band. If you're holding something, pushing that above your shoulders here, above your head, and slowly back down to my chest. We're going to do 8 reps total here. Here we go. 1. Remember, keep that tension on the band. 2. 3. Nice and slow, just like this. 4. 5. Probably feeling that in your shoulders here. That's good. That's where you should be feeling it. 6. Keeping that tension. 7. 1 more. And 8. All right, so I know I'm feeling my shoulders burning pretty good there. That's good. That's what we're working on with that exercise. But we're going to go back one more time. We're going to go to those low rows. So remember with that low row, getting that resistance band about the midline of the bottom of my foot, planting that on the ground, other foot back. My left foot's forward. I'm grabbing that resistance band in my right hand, hinging forward at my hips, and we're going into that row. 8 reps on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nice. So one more on the other side. We'll quickly switch over to the other foot. Be careful. Make sure you have your balance. Other foot forward. Now holding the resistance band in my left hand while the resistance band's under my right foot. Here we go. 8 reps one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. So if you did those reps, regardless of if you had a resistance band or you were holding a bottle of water or wine or something that had some weight, you were working on that upper back, those shoulder muscles in the back, just in the upper part of your back there by your shoulder, which is, again, one of our more, the muscles in our back that tend to get the weakest from not using them enough. We're not strength training them. One more time here. We're going to go into our shoulder press, our shoulder raise here. Remember, keeping tension on the band, make sure that resistance band right about the middle of your palm. Tension, my hands about shoulder width apart. We're going to push them straight up. Here we go. 8 reps. 1, keep that tension. Here we go. 2, feeling that in your shoulders especially. 3, so you can see my arms kind of out to my sides, not too far in front of me. 4, 5, 6, 2 more. Keep that tension. I know those shoulders are burning. 7, and 8. Beautiful. So I know we're getting close to the end of our time. I do have one more exercise. So the reason why I picked these upper body exercises is, again, it's because there's, and you may be familiar with this, there's something called upper cross syndrome, which a lot of people have. Millions and millions of people have upper cross syndrome. It's not a disease. It's just something that happens when we sit for really long periods of time. What happens is we sit in this kind of a hunched over position on a computer. We're watching TV, playing video games. We sit in this hunched over position. What happens is our muscles in the front of our body, our chest muscles, our shoulder muscles, our neck muscles, they get used to being in that position, so they get really tight. and they get, they get weak, but also they get really tight. Our back muscles and our shoulder muscles in the back of our body, they get really weak because they get stretched out from being in this crouched over position. So what we're doing is we're not only opening our chest up through these exercises, but we're also strengthening those weak muscles in our back so that we can even it out. So upper cross syndrome is tightness in the front of your chest, your upper body, weakness and kind of stretched out muscles in your back. So we're starting to even it out, opening up the chest, strengthening our back. So this exercise, if you have a resistance band, right? If you don't have a resistance band, you can do this simply with body weight or holding a couple bottles of water or something with a little bit of weight. We're going to keep that in the same position that we just did our shoulder raises with, keeping that resistance on it. Elbow tight to my sides here. I'm going to bring my hands out to the side, extending them out as far as I can. You can feel that again in our shoulders, so especially the back of our shoulders, strengthening some of those muscles that get really weak from that seated position. So here we go. We're going 8 reps. 1, right back to where we started in the middle. 2, kind of see from the side right where I'm at. 3, keeping that chest up nice and tall. 4, 5, 6, 2 more. Keep that chest open. 7 and 8. So if you were doing those, you definitely felt that up here, a little bit back up in here too. That's good. That's working on some of those muscles that are getting really weak and stretched out from sitting too long. We'll do one more set of that. I know we're just at about 12:30, but again, hopefully that maybe you have a chance. These aren't super expensive. If you don't have any, if you're wondering where to get these resistance bands or how much they cost, you can usually find these on Amazon. A pack of these, you get like 5 or 6 of these in a pack, anywhere from $5 to $15. So not super expensive. So if you're looking to get something like this, I would look on Amazon. It's where I got mine from, and I use these all the time. They are super effective. So we're gonna go through this one more time here. Our external rotation, our external shoulder rotation. So we're rotating at the shoulder here, strengthening some of these back muscles in our shoulder. Here we go. 1, 2, keeping those palms facing toward each other. 3, 4, halfway there, nice and slow. 5, 6, 7, one more, here we go. And 8, beautiful. So we got through some of those exercises. I know we're pretty much right at the end of our time, so I just wanted to kind of recap what we went through today. The exercises that we worked on today, we did a lot of lower body. You notice a lot of those muscles being in our glutes and our hamstrings are in lower back. And then we got our upper back and shoulder muscles especially. And again, the reason for that is because almost all of us that are here today, or maybe you're watching this, down the road and you're watching this as recorded, almost all of us are sitting for too long throughout the day. And those muscles, when we sit, those muscles in the back of our body especially tend to be the ones that are neglected the most and get the weakest, the tightest, or too stretched out. So we are focusing on getting those muscles stronger in the back of our body today, the back half of our body, not the front as much. So yeah, that was our focus today. I just want to thank you all so much for joining. I know we're right at 12:30. If you ever have any questions about this workout, anything else, feel free to contact me directly. My email is wellnesscoach@transitchicago.com. So again, wellnesscoach@transitchicago.com. Any questions about this or anything else you might have questions about, feel free to reach out. I know some of you have been reaching out to me with some really great questions, so I will get back to you as soon as possible if you do email me. But have a great day. I'll see you next time, and hopefully you have a great week and have a good, happy Monday. See you soon. Thank you so much.